There are a number of ways to immigrate to Canada, and to keep you from having to go through about 80 of the programs available, I shortlisted three of the programs where you won't have to wait for an employer to hire you or beg a relative to sponsor you. In this episode, I'm going to show you your best options to immigrate to Canada independently. You're going to learn the top three programs that I highly recommend. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Daphne Lavina, licensed Canadian immigration consultant and a persistent optimist dedicated to helping you achieve your immigration goals. First, let's talk about what independent immigration is. Independent immigration to Canada means that you're getting your permanent resident visa without needing a sponsorship from an employer or a relative. Now, you might be thinking, really, Daphne? Why the heck would I want to immigrate to Canada if there's no job waiting for me? Wouldn't that be scary, especially if I don't know anybody in Canada? Well, it could be. Moving to another country because of a job is less overwhelming than if you were to resettle on your own. But why is it that a lot of prospective immigrants still prefer to independently immigrate to Canada? What are the advantages of landing in Canada as an independent immigrant? The biggest one is flexibility. You can work for any employer, you can start with any job, you can switch careers right after you land, you can live anywhere in Canada, except of course if you were nominated by a province, in which case you'll have to stay in that province for at least 2 years, depending upon the undertaking that you've signed with the province who nominated you. If you're the type of person who doesn't want to be tied up, if you're the type who thrives in flexibility, then this, my friend, is a program for you. Another advantage of independent immigration is that you won't have to wait until you get a job offer before you can submit an application. As long as you've completed all the requirements, you're good to go. So, what are the disadvantages of immigrating independently? Well, there will be no job waiting for you when you land in Canada. You'll have to look for a job when you get here. I'll let you in on a secret though. You can actually look for a job before you come to Canada. Once you're already in the final stages of your application, you can already start your job search. If you're lucky, you may be able to avail of a relocation package from your employer. Another disadvantage about coming to Canada independently is that you may not have anyone to assist you with your resettlement. If you don't have friends or relatives, then you won't have a welcome party for you at the airport. You're on your own finding a place to stay and finding your way around. However, there are lots of resettlement services in cities, in places here in Canada that would be able to help you with your resettlement. So you can avail of that. You can check that out once you get your visa to come to Canada. There's also Google, so it's not going to be that difficult for you. When we came about 19 years ago, there was no Google yet. We had to rely on others for information, and we had to bring a map with us all the time. I was forced to learn where east, west, north, and south was, so you are coming at a great time. Also, with independent immigration options, you'll be at the mercy of the federal and provincial governments. You'll have to wait for their draws and you'll have to compete with other applicants within the pool for that most coveted invitation to apply. If at this point you're still wanting to immigrate to Canada independently, keep watching because I will now reveal to you the top three Canadian immigration options. As I said, Canada has about 80 immigration programs you can choose from, but here are my top three favorites. The first one is the Express Entry Federal Skilled Worker category. The second one is the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, or SINP, Express Entry Subcategory, and this is what I call the Real Express Entry. And the third one is the SINP Occupations in Demand Subcategory, and this is what I call the Easier Way. The main requirement for these three categories is your occupation. You must have at least 1 year of work experience in an occupation that is a level 0, A, or B in the National Occupational Classification of Canada. Now, what are NOC 0 occupations? If your job title has a manager on it, chances are your occupation belongs to NOC 0. If you work in a professional job that typically requires a degree from a university, then most probably you're in a level A occupation. Examples are nurses, architects, physiotherapists. NOC B occupations are technical jobs and skilled trades. You'll usually need a college diploma or apprenticeship training to do these jobs. Examples are chefs, mechanics, and electricians. So what do you think your NOC skill type is? I'd love to hear from you. So comment below with your occupation and your NOC number if you know it. Aside from your occupation, the following factors will also affect your application in these three categories: your language proficiency, your educational attainment, your age, your settlement funds, and you get bonuses if you've got relatives, if you have previously studied in Canada or the province you're applying for, or if you've previously worked in the provinces that you're applying for or in Canada for at least 1 year. If you want to learn more about these three programs, I'd like to invite you to attend my free webinar on the secret to successfully immigrate to Canada. It's an online seminar, so as long as you have an internet and a laptop or smartphone, you can safely attend during this time of social distancing. In my next video, I'm going to go through the updated Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. Make sure you like this post, hit subscribe and the bell so you'll know when my next post is uploaded. Take care, stay safe and healthy, and see you on my next video.